When the great city of Rome fell to the Goths in the year 410, the ancient world was shaken to its core. How could the immortal eternal city, renowned for its power and glory, be humbled so completely? The shockwaves rippled far beyond the shattered walls, igniting fierce debates. Pagan critics claimed that Christianity had doomed Rome, arguing that by abandoning its gods, the empire invited ruin. But was this the whole truth? Unwilling to accept such a bleak verdict, one young Christian presbyter was called to respond, a man whose vision would forever shape how history was told. This is the story of Aulus Orosius, the historian who looked at Rome's fall through the eyes of faith. Born in the bustling town of Bracara, in what we know today as Portugal, sometime near the end of the 4th century, Orosius grew up steeped in both classical learning and Christian conviction. Though few details survive about his early life, his writings reveal a mind trained in the great Roman authors like Virgil, Horace, and Cicero, alongside a deep commitment to his faith. Around the age of 30, compelled perhaps by turmoil in his homeland or spiritual calling, Orosius left Iberia. His journey was fraught with uncertainty and divine intervention. He would later recall his voyage as guided by providence to the shores of North Africa, where he found refuge with none other than St. Augustine. At Hippo Regius, Orosius engaged in vital theological debates, standing firm against heresies that threatened the young Christian church. He wrote treatises defending orthodox doctrines, earning Augustine's respect and friendship. Yet Orosius' quest for understanding and his role as a messenger took him further east to the holy landscapes of Palestine. There, amidst venerable shrines and passionate controversies, he defended Orthodox belief against the Pelagian controversy, speaking at the Council of Jerusalem. Misunderstandings cast a shadow on his mission, but Orosius responded with patience and clarity, penning an apologetic work that would deepen Christian theological discourse. His travels were more than spiritual quests. They connected communities, carried sacred relics, and transmitted messages across a fragmented empire. Unable to return home due to invasions and upheaval, Orosius returned to Augustine's side in Africa. It was here, urged by his mentor, that he undertook his most enduring project, the Historiae Adversus Paganos, the history against the pagans. This monumental work was not merely history, it was a profound Christian reimagining of the past. Orosius sought to prove that calamities like Rome's sack had not begun with Christianity but were recurring throughout human experience, even before Christ. He traced a continuous thread from the biblical flood through the rise and fall of great empires, Babylon, Macedon, Carthage, culminating in Rome. History, he argued, was the unfolding of God's providential plan, where every empire rose and fell according to divine purpose. Written swiftly and with an apologetic heart, the Historiae gathered tales, facts, and interpretations from Scripture, Roman historians, and Christian writings. Though sometimes partial and dramatic, it offered unique details lost elsewhere, especially for times close to Orosius' own life. His insistence on blending Christian belief with historical record shaped medieval understandings of the ancient world for centuries to come. Despite his monumental contribution, Orosius vanished from the historical record shortly after completing his work, yet his story did not end there. The Historiae gained immense authority through the Church, praised by popes and scholars alike, preserved in hundreds of manuscripts. It influenced towering medieval minds from Isidore of Seville to Alfred the Great, serving as a vital bridge between classical antiquity and medieval Christian thought. The Historiae was more than a chronicle, it was a testament to faith in providence amid chaos. Orosius cast history not as a mere sequence of events but as a stage for divine judgment and mercy. His emotional reflections reveal a man who deeply empathized with human suffering and sought to find hope beyond tragedy. Orosius consciously distanced his work from earlier pagan histories that ignored vast epochs of human experience before rulers like Ninus or failed to see the significance of Christ's coming. Instead, he elevated Scripture as the foundational authority, inserting Christian meaning into the timeline of the world. Balancing brevity with universality, his narrative voice shifts from dry summary to heartfelt lament, inviting readers to mourn history's tragedies while understanding them as part of a divine story. His work poses questions about faith, human suffering, and the nature of history itself, questions that resonate even today. The Historiae defies simple categorization. It is at once history, apology, and universal chronicle. Its contradictions and rhetorical flourishes reveal a deeply human author navigating complex intellectual and spiritual terrain. Was it meant for pagans or convinced Christians shaken by Rome's fall? Perhaps both, a text meant to defend faith, unite believers, and confront doubt. Orosius' legacy lies in the endurance of his vision. For over 1,600 years, his writings circulated widely, coloring the medieval world's perception of antiquity. While Renaissance scholars critiqued him, modern studies reveal his rhetorical skill and originality. Far from a mere follower of Augustine, Orosius emerges as an independent thinker who forged a providential framework that shaped European historiography well beyond his era. Through his eyes, the collapse of Rome becomes not a simple disaster, but a moment within God's grand design. History transforms from a chronicle of loss into a testament of faith and resilience. In embracing this perspective, Orosius gave the world a new way to understand a shattered empire and, ultimately, the enduring human search for meaning in the face of calamity. Enjoyed the video? Give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more. See you in the next one.